Okay, oh god. It's 1:40 in the afternoon and I'm having a cup of half caffeinated, half acidic coffee. And I haven't had any coffee in weeks. And I don't have any good sense of time, so it could have been months. This might be a terrible decision. I've been drinking tea for so long and it's been so nice. It's calmed my anxiety, it's calmed my stomach. But there's something about coffee. It's dangerous shit that gives you dangerous shits. I've been listening to my inner child enough. It's time to listen to my inner saboteur again. That's good, I think. Is that good? Is it good? It's fine. This will be for special occasions. I'm a fragile little Fabergé egg of a human now. I have to treat myself with delicate and gentle hands. We'll have our half caffeinated coffee for special occasions. Every day can be special if you're an optimist. I'm alive! That's how I should have started all of these videos in this cancer series or whatever this is. I don't know if it's a series or if it's the start of something new. That sounds like a lyric in a Taylor Swift song. I had my lumpectomy last week and I'm on the mend. I'm doing really well. Just this area is sore. My armpit is sore and my left breast is sore and swollen. It's Tuesday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. I got my lumpectomy exactly 1 week ago and I will find out the results from the lumpectomy on Thursday. So I'm just existing in this very strange pocket of time, so I thought I would shoot a video to help me pass the time. And because I wanted to. I did some half-ass vlogging leading up to surgery. I think I didn't fully commit to the idea of vlogging because, I don't know, maybe I was just like nervous and there wasn't a lot going on. So let's look at some random stuff I filmed before surgery. Sorry, I'm out of breath. For a really good reason. I just walked on my treadmill for 25 minutes. Very slow speed. That's like the first voluntary form of exercise that I've done since May, I think, other than taking my dog out. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Is this what endorphin rush feels like after your first very minimal workout that was basically akin to mall walking? Whew, oh my goodness, thrilling. Oh my God, there's a coyote out there. Do you see this? What the hell? There's a coyote running down. Hey! Whoa, that was crazy. Oh my God. Say my heart's beating fast, but it was before. Whoa. Oh my, you know the, okay. The last time that happened, literally, Elliot was sitting on right here and I was telling him I found out that I had breast cancer before we went to the doctor to find out because my labs were posted on my profile for the hospital's website. And literally, as I was telling him, a coyote did the exact same thing that one just did. I know this doesn't seem that crazy, but Elliot and I, just to catch you up, both went to graduate school for depth psychology. Learned a lot about symbolism, metaphor of the psyche, and that right there is huge for us. And the education that we've spent 2 years during the pandemic in, and that he's still currently in getting his PhD. Whoa, okay, wow. So, crazy morning. I'm gonna hydrate and text Elliot, who's out at therapy right now, that happened. So, that's the update. Oh, she turned the camera on for this. Good morning, it's Monday morning, and what's the most fun thing to do on a Monday morning? Go get a chest x-ray. I mean, have you tried it? This morning I'm getting a chest x-ray just so they can make sure that my lungs and everything are good for surgery. It's 9:30 in the morning now. We have all the car necessities to travel. We have tea, water with liquid IV in it, car crackers, and tissues. Those are the essentials these days. I haven't even looked at what a chest x-ray actually is. I'm assuming it's a quick, non-invasive thing, but with my luck, who knows? They're gonna be like, we actually have to biopsy both of your breasts and your feet today. We'll see. That was so quick and painless, and all I had to do was take my bra. I didn't even have to put those on. I'm already back in my car. That was so quick and painless, I can't believe it. The kindest x-ray technician, I'm not sure what they're called, see-through specialist named Cheryl. This absolutely lovely woman named Cheryl just told me to take my bra off. She took a couple pictures of me, and I was on my way. You hear about that kind of stuff happening in Los Angeles. But never does she leave this pleased. And I got to keep my shirt on. There's very rarely a doctor's appointment in this scenario in which I get to keep my shirt on these days. So that was a great time. Wow, what about this one? Over the weekend, I got a hankering for tiramisu, and then I realized I've never made tiramisu before. So I went out to the grocery store and bought the ingredients to make tiramisu. I'm gonna try to make tiramisu. It's gotta cool in a refrigerator for hours, so it makes sense to do it now. It'll be ready later when we're high and hungry. My grocery store did not have lady fingers, so instead I got Nilla wafers, which are supposed to be an okay substitute. We'll see. Let's find out. Wow. Now this goes in the fridge for like 3 hours. That was really easy. Ooh, look at her filming this part. So, it is Monday, December 18th. I haven't vlogged in so long. I shot the Q&A video. Haven't vlogged. I don't know. I was thinking because I was just like in a momentum of not vlogging that I would just continue not to. But I'm going to record and we'll see. I had therapy this morning because tomorrow is my surgery. Tomorrow is my lumpectomy. And I'm just like making sense of how I feel. I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it. Any surgery is nerve-wracking. I've never had a surgery this intense, but it should be fine. They do these all the time. I'm going in today for something crazy. What's a crazy named thing? Lymphoscintigraphy. Scintigraphy. Shenanigans going on. So they're doing that for my lymph nodes, I believe, because my lymph nodes will be biopsied tomorrow, I believe. They're going in there, they're getting some stuff, they're getting out of there. They're pillaging this area of my body, basically, tomorrow. I believe today they're taking some images. We're gonna find out when we get there. My process in this process, which might be very different than others in this process, and in fact I know for sure is very different than others in this process, is that I don't like to overwhelm myself with the details. Some might call that living in blissful ignorance. It has been a pretty okay system so far. Pretty okay, not flawless. It's not a flawless system. It could use some improvements. I could probably ask more questions, get more information, but who's got the time? Oh, just me. I have nothing but time. I was trying to talk in therapy this morning about how I'm feeling, and I feel very like numb-ish in a way, but I think that's just I'm a little overwhelmed and scared and nervous, and so my body just sort of shuts into a numb, and we'll just like play Scrabble on my phone for like an hour straight, and that's how I realized like, oh, I think I'm a little scared. Anyway, we made some tea. We're gonna leave in about an hour. Would you like to come along-ish? I don't know how much I'll record there. To pull out a whole camera in a medical facility when stuff's going on is a big to-do, and I just don't have the personality for that. Ooh, gotta get this next part on camera. Am I bullying myself? And then surgery day happened, and I did some very minor vlogging on surgery day, I think. I'm not totally sure. Here's whatever I put together. This is a nice little scene for a potentially horrific day. Just kidding. Just kidding, it's a great day. I didn't sleep well. It's surgery day. We're getting ready to go over to surgery, and God, I'm slow today. I'm not allowed to eat or drink anything, so I don't know what to do with myself because my mornings have gotten into a routine of making myself a delicious matcha. So now I can't do any of that, so I'm just standing in the kitchen. When I'm stressed, I want to eat little treats, and I can't do that this morning, so we're just standing around unsure of how to be and what to do. But let's go get surgery today. Another step in the process that seems never ending. We're on our way to surgery. My head's cold, but also Elliot and I are wearing basically the same exact outfit. Oh no, this gives off eerie vibes, I feel like, for the surgeons. We do everything together. Twins on the move, twins on the move. I've already done one procedure. They took me downstairs and they put 2 wires in my boob. That was insane. It's happening.
So another thing I like to do, I like to make sure that my patients have gotten
Okay, just got back from surgery. Elliot went to the store to get himself a beer because that boy has earned it today. I have an ice pack going on. It was a success. I feel very groggy. Everyone was so nice. We'll see how the recovery goes the next couple days. I can't believe they put 2 wires. I knew they were doing guide wire stuff, and I guess I didn't realize how literal that description of the procedure would be. Me and that mammogram machine have a very tumultuous relationship. They put me in the mammogram machine like my mammogram biopsy, and instead of doing the biopsy needle, they put 2 little wires in my boob and then taped it up. I went back upstairs to get ready for surgery, so I just sat there like this, trying desperately not to look at the chaos going on down there. Man, getting knocked out for surgery is just so awesome. I love it. But I don't know if I said anything weird because Elliot wasn't back there with me. I just have to live with the uncertainty, a totally different kind of uncertainty, not medical uncertainty, just like social embarrassment uncertainty of if I said anything strange in the fog before I totally came to around some of the nicest nurses. We're not going to dwell in that. We have other things to worry about and also much to celebrate. Did it. Oh my god, that's so cool. Hell yeah. Surgery's done. That's so cool. And that leads us up to here now, 1 week after surgery. I'd mentioned in my last Q&A video, should I do a part 2? And a lot of you said, yeah, do part 2. And that's all I needed, was literally one person going, yeah, do part 2. The blood of Christ. How's it been dealing with all the embarrassing physical stuff that comes with chemo? It is wild that everyone's cancer experience, though very similar, is very much unique at the same time. Our bodies all respond to similar treatments in different ways. I got sent home with all these pamphlets of information about the medications I had and would be taking during chemo days and what the full list of side effects would be. Get presented with these just terrible things in a list. And you're going, uh-oh, what bingo number is going to be called for me? Which one of these am I going to experience? So you basically prepare for a war with yourself. I'm talking a lot in therapy now about, I've had a lot of, I guess, more emotional days because I'm kind of unpacking how crazy the last few months were for me. Though I was like trying to process in real time, you're just handling so much so quickly. Just the entirety of your treatment and the journey that you go on, you're kind of just pushed into immediately and you quickly have to start. So there's not a lot of time anywhere other than at the very end to really think about what you just did and what your body just did. The diarrhea stuff started happening fast and furious. I mean, I was like Vin Diesel in here. It was too fast, too furious. You just sort of have to deal with it. I'm thankful to have a husband that, like, you know, if I was nervous about farting in front of him before, like, all bets are off at this point. I was stinking up the joint every day. He's respectful enough to not tell me constantly what he could overhear, but Lord knows that boy heard some horrors happening in these bathrooms in this house. And he's been nothing but loving about it. So having a support system that can either help you laugh or love you unconditionally through these conditions is really helpful. Help them to feel human when they really probably feel so alien because of what their body is experiencing. Even more reason to support those that are going through this. I can't even say the word without just like immediately flashing back to the emergency room bathroom floor on my hands and knees. What are your feelings, thoughts as we approach the new year? Oh man, I am starting to generate some feelings and thoughts because there's been so many other things for me to think about up until now, and now I'm like, wow, it's the end of the year. Wild cosmically that this is all lined up as we start 2024, that I really do feel like I'm having this like rebirth thing going on that I'm in the middle of right now. I do feel incredibly disoriented a lot of the time, but I'm trying to reorient myself as my world now opens up a little bit after chemo around who I am as a person, what I care about, and what I would like to do. I'm working with fear a lot as an emotion that is incredibly powerful in my world and has the ability to show me areas of my life that I want to explore, but also has the ability to hinder me from doing any exploration. Trying to get back to following my fears rather than letting them sit on me like a weighted blanket. I love fresh starts. I love fresh starts. When I was younger, I loved rearranging my room and being like, I'm a brand new bitch now. Look at me. Everything's gonna work out great because my bed's over there and my walls are lime green now. One of my plans before we start the new year is to really sit down and think of goals. Obviously, like, a lack of direction comes from a lack of goals, and I'd like to have some momentum and direction in 2024. Gentle though, gentle. I don't want to be strict and restrictive bitch to myself. I want these to be goals with the open-endedness of adapting to whatever might come. I really do feel like one of these guys. 2023 was a weird year. 2024, I'd like for it to be a better year. Did you find it hard to tell people you have cancer? This is a great question. Telling people that I had breast cancer was so hard. I hate worrying anyone. I hate bothering anyone. I didn't tell anyone other than my little brother that I was having a biopsy originally. So unfortunately, because no one knew that I was even dealing with the lump, it came out of left field to tell my parents that I had breast cancer, and that was really hard to do. And they all took it so well. I mean, it was incredibly shocking across the board. To tell friends, the way I did it, because I'm scared of telling people something so serious. I just want to be able to tell people difficult things while having the conclusion on how it won't be difficult anymore. There was no way to do that. I drafted up texts to them and I ran them by Elliot, and then I sent one kind of like a day to each friend because that's emotionally how much I could handle, and I wanted to give space to be able to respond. But that's also just my own people-pleasing tendencies that I bumped up against that were, out the window at that point. So if someone does tell you that they have cancer, I think the best reaction, if you can, in that shocking situation, is a calm and supportive response. My mom actually was just immediately like, okay, you can do this. You're gonna get through this. Just so definitively. Wasn't emotional. I mean, she probably cried after we got off the phone, but she was so steady so immediately, and it was really helpful. But on the flip side of it being very difficult, once I told people, I did feel this like beautiful sense of deeper connection and vulnerability. The first kind of real emotional boost of like, you did something really hard. You can do this. You didn't die. Yeah. I'm not even gonna make a joke. There was just the lingering thing of then telling the internet, and that was also very difficult. But after telling people and feeling like I did that, like I did it, that was a huge boost of encouragement that I could do hard things. Have you ever witnessed a UFO? Let's just move on to that. I have not witnessed a UFO. UAP? I believe we're supposed to use UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. My husband is pretty into the world of UAPs. In fact, he wrote an academic paper on it that is getting published. So I don't mean to toot his horn, but honk honk. Ouch. I have not, but would I like to? I think I would like to, but I'm uncertain on that. I need some time away from this scenario to resettle myself, and then the UAPs, you are allowed to present yourself to me, because I will be emotionally well again. Do you feel like you grew up on the internet? What are your feelings on that? No, I don't. Gen Z, you guys grew up on the internet. Millennials, no, which I think is why we have a different type of anxiety than you have. Millennials grew up being introduced to the internet in some of their formative years. When I was a teenager, that's when, AOL Instant Messenger and the ability to connect from home started. But I also remember my childhood without any screens. So millennials have this weird tension of knowing a life without it and then adapting to a life with it. Gen Z knows this tension of just having access to too much information as soon as they were introduced to the world. I get all the anxiety and overwhelm. I understand it. It's too much power, too much information, too much access, I think. No wonder we're all obsessed with talking about boundaries. Oh, I'm also realizing that you mean grow up on the internet like I've put my whole life out there on the internet. No, I don't feel that way. You've seen some of my life, but definitely not all of it. And a lot of my major struggles in life during college happened before I put anything on the internet. That's where I kind of discovered my ability to put things on the internet. And thankfully, that happened post an era where I was struggling a lot. I don't think I grew up on the internet. I think I put things on the internet as I grow. Does that make sense? Okay, we're rambling. How does it feel to look back on your earlier content, i.e. Daily Grace or Early It's Grace? For years, I've had this very immediate cringe at the thought of looking at old content. I had this phase where I would get really drunk and watch old content that I thought was good and think, wow, I'll never do something like that again. I think happened because I was very depressed and lost and struggling. And then I have this phase where I just feel very kind of cringy at looking back at old content. And I'm trying to understand where the cringe comes from. I think it comes from knowing that there was a lot of different struggle happening behind the scenes in a lot of those years while trying to put on a fun face for a camera online. I think I'm morphing that cringe phase into a phase where I have more compassion for the girl making that content and respect for the girl making that content because she was doing her best. And I have a lot more tools now at understanding my mental health that I didn't have back then. Does that mean I'm gonna look back at my old content right now? No! But the thought of possibly doing it at some point doesn't totally gross me out. That's progress, that's progress. She's still the same girl. Are you planning on writing a new book? Yes. And a lot of what I'm talking about here in vagaries, if that's a word, I should start to learn which words are words and which ones aren't because I'm gonna write a new book. I had started writing a new book before I got diagnosed, and then I got diagnosed, and my brain has just been through a lot. I think there's a brand new chapter that has been writing itself over the last 6 months. There's a lot more to say in this book, I think, than I have. I really want to reflect on kind of the psychological journey as someone that found themselves online the way that I did. A lot of it is about the duality of like wanting to put myself out there while struggling internally with a lot of emotional and psychological stuff that I'm learning a lot about over the last few years, if that makes sense. What things did doctors do that made you feel most cared for? Brand new doc here. Congratulations on being a doctor. That's not an easy thing to do. If there's one thing I have absolutely learned through this process is that I have no interest in working in the medical field at all whatsoever, nor was I ever designed as a human being to be in that field. I don't understand anything going on there. And I have nothing but respect for those that work there and do know what's going on. But the thing that doctors did that make me feel most cared for, detailed responses to questions. Before this surgery, I had emailed my surgical doctor with a bunch of follow-up questions that I had that I didn't think of in the moment that we were talking about it originally, and she responded to my email with just like full answers to each question, fully typed out within like 2 hours of sending the email. And that was just amazing for me. As a visual person that is very forgetful, to have an email with all of these answers in was incredible. Any sort of like clarity of explanation and openness to question answering was incredible, especially as someone that's still learning to advocate for myself in this world and gets afraid to ask dumb questions sometimes. To be able to have just such thoughtful responses was super helpful. Oh, and for those of you that are going through this process, here's a little tip that actually really helped us out a lot. When we would have doctor's appointments, Elliot will record the session with the doctors. You can ask your doctor if it's okay to record, and then transcribed it when we got back so that I could see all of the things that we talked about, like written out. Auditorily, for me, I don't retain things a lot, and often I get distracted by people's faces and the way they move when they talk to me. So when I'm looking the doctor in the eye, I'm not really listening to what he's saying. I'm looking at like, does he trim his eyebrows? And that's on me, you know, it's on me. Best advice for someone starting chemo next month for breast cancer: you can do it. You can do hard things. You can do things that you don't think you can do. Remind yourself that it is temporary. This is temporary. It will not last forever. Write that on a mirror. Write it on a piece of paper. Paint it all over your walls. Tell your significant other or your family member to remind you and text you that this is not gonna last forever. The times that I would spiral were the times that I felt just so completely suffocated by the experience and that I was never going to get out of it. When I was reminded that it was temporary It was so much easier to handle. But you can do it. You can do hard things. And it is temporary. Okay, this camera is gonna die soon. So I think that is it for answering your questions. Thank you again for all these great questions. And I will keep you posted on this series of events as they continue. I don't think I'll be posting a video before next year. So happy 2024. Let's do it. Let's start facing and following our fears and not letting them f us over. Other than that, I don't know. And that's okay.